You know that moment, the one where everything just stops, the pressure builds, and suddenly every single eye is on you, waiting for an answer. We're going to walk through that moment today. We'll talk about how you can find a sense of calm, a sense of clarity, right in the eye of the storm. It always starts so simply, doesn't it? Just three little words. They pop up in a chat window, and they land with this heavy thud. Citrix is down. And just like that, in that one single moment, your entire world just shifts. And then the wave begins to build. First, it's just a single alert, then a ticket, then two more. And before you know it, you're not just dealing with a small problem anymore. No, you are caught in a flood, and that system that was just humming along perfectly a minute ago, it's now the source of a rapidly growing panic. Of course, that's when the phone rings. It's a manager. They want to know what's going on. They need an ETA, they need an explanation, and the pressure? It's not just technical anymore, is it? It's personal. You can feel the eyes on you, waiting. And all the while, your screen is just a blur of notifications. Every pop-up, every new message, it's just another voice adding to the noise, to the chaos. It feels completely overwhelming. It's like you're trying to hear a single whisper in the middle of a hurricane. So, here you are, right in the center of the storm. These are the first 10 minutes of a major incident, and everything that happens next, for better or for worse, is going to be determined by your very next move. So what do? Well, you have a choice. You really do. You can go down the path of chaos. You know this path. It's a flurry of panicked clicking, just guessing, reacting, or you can choose the path of clarity. And that path, it begins not with frantic action, but with a single, incredibly powerful decision. The very first thing an experienced pro does is something that feels, well, it feels completely wrong in the moment. They pause. They actually take a breath. Why? Because they know a secret. To go fast later, you have to go slow now. Rushing only leads to mistakes. Slowing down, that leads to clarity.
Now, what's so fascinating is what's happening inside your body. The moment a crisis hits, you're flooded with adrenaline. It's that fight or flight response, and it is screaming at you, do something, act now. But here's the thing. In a complex technical problem, that instinct is your worst enemy. It pushes you to click things without thinking, to reboot things that can actually make the problem worse. Pausing is your way of telling that instinct, not yet. First, we think.
Okay, so once you've taken that breath and you've centered yourself, your role completely changes. You're no longer a firefighter rushing into a blaze. You're a detective arriving at a crime scene. You're not looking for a solution just yet. First, you're looking for clues. Before you charge onto the battlefield, you have to understand it. And that always starts with asking the right questions. And the very first question is so simple, but it is absolutely crucial. Is this affecting just one person, or is this a widespread issue? You know, a single user's problem can sound like a total global outage if they're loud enough. Verifying this one simple fact can stop you from launching a massive response for what might be a really minor, isolated issue. Once you've confirmed it's real and it's affecting more than one person, you have to figure out its size. You know, how big is this fire, really? Is it a small campfire we can easily put out, or is it a forest fire that's spreading? Figuring out the scope is what turns that vague, awful feeling of panic into a concrete, defined problem that you can actually start to solve. So you start asking these key questions. How many people are actually affected? Which departments do they work in? Are they all in one office, or are they spread out all over the world? Is it just one application that's down, or is it everything? The answers to these questions are like you're drawing a map of the problem. You start to actually see its shape, its edges, its boundaries. Okay, now you've got your map of the problem. With that, you can start to zero in on the source. I want you to think of your entire IT system as a long chain, where every single component is a link. Your job, right now, is to find the one broken link that's causing the whole thing to fail. So here we see a pretty typical journey of a user's connection. It's a chain of events, and every single one has to happen perfectly for it to work. By understanding this chain, you can pinpoint the exact moment of failure. Are users getting stuck at the gateway? Maybe. Or are they failing to authenticate? This isn't a guessing game. It's a logical process of elimination that leads you straight to the source of the problem. So at this point, you've made a really important shift. You've gone from being a victim of the incident to becoming the leader of the response. And a leader's most powerful tool in a crisis isn't a keyboard, it's communication. Look, the most important thing you can do is break the silence. A simple message, just like this one, it does so much more than just give information. It radiates calm. It tells everyone, we are aware, we are in control, and we have a plan. Silence just creates anxiety and rumors. Clear communication builds trust.
Your next biggest clue is almost always found in the past. What changed recently? See, most major incidents aren't just random acts of chaos. They're almost always the direct result of a recent change. A patch, a network modification, a certificate renewal. Looking back at the timeline is one of the absolute fastest ways to find the root cause. Now, with all of these clues gathered, you can finally start to think about the fix. But again, we stick to the path of clarity. We don't just start trying things and hope for the best. We plan our recovery. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got pure chaos. Rebooting things blindly, changing settings without really knowing why. This approach can literally destroy evidence and make the whole problem 10 times worse. But on the right, you have planned, strategic actions. Failing over to a backup site, restarting one specific, isolated service. These are surgical moves, not wild swings in the dark. And this, right here, this really summarizes the entire journey. You see, the difference between a junior reaction and a senior response. It isn't really about knowing more technical facts. It's a difference in mindset. It's about moving from reacting emotionally to responding methodically, from guessing to investigating, and from silence to leadership. So let's be crystal clear about the real objective here. In those first 10 chaotic minutes, your goal is not to have everything fixed and working perfectly again. Honestly, that's an unrealistic pressure to put on yourself, and it's not helpful. The true goal, the real victory, is to find a clear direction. It's to move from a state of I have no idea what's happening to, okay, I understand the scope, I have a solid theory about the cause, and I have a clear plan for my next steps. That is winning. And if you take away just one thing today, let it be this. We always think that emergencies are solved by being faster, by moving quicker, but that's just not true. Incidents are not solved by speed. They are solved by clarity. So the next time you find yourself in the middle of your own storm, I want you to just pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself this one simple question. Do I understand this situation, or am I just reacting to it? Because the power to turn chaos into clarity, it's already within you. You just have to choose to use it.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you for watching this video. My name is Naresh. I am the content creator behind this YouTube channel. I have created a community for Citrix learners where I will be posting a lot of details on Citrix products and how to work in Citrix environments. I'm going to mention the link in the video description so you can click on that link and you can become part of the community. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.